And schools evacuated, smoke still lingering in the air at this moment after a train derailment in the Metro East. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm KELLETT. At this hour, firefighters have been able to put out the flames. We want to show you where the derailment happened in the train yard in Dupo. It's about 10 miles southeast of the Arch. This afternoon, we have live team coverage with Powerhouse Sky Zoom 4 overhead. Our Chris Negus researching the chemical that burned. Ray Preston talking to evacuees. But we begin this afternoon with our Russell Kinsall, one of the first reporters on the ground in Dupo. Russell?
Well, right now it's pretty clear the fire is out, the situation is under control, and we just learned that the evacuation order has been lifted. Look over my shoulder. Here's a good sign of what the situation is like. That fire truck back there on that berm, a little bit earlier, had been fighting the last of the flames just on the other side of that truck. They look quite relaxed at this point. The flames are out. The derailment happened around 12:45, and immediately after there was a fire and a lot of smoke. We're told the flammable liquid that was burning is methyl isobutyl ketone. That's a solvent used in paints and varnishes. We've seen firefighters spraying some type of foam onto the rail cars in an effort to suffocate the flames. As we've seen, the derailment sparked fires across a large area and spewed thick black smoke high into the sky that was seen 20 miles away or more. A person working nearby at the time told me he heard the rail cars braking. Then he heard the sound of metal crashing and clanging as the cars derailed and the flames erupted.
I was just standing out here working and seen a giant fireball out the corner of my eye. I looked over and a bunch of smoke burrowing, and then it just started spreading down the tracks about 5 minutes after that.
Now, one sure sign that the fire is out and the situation is relaxed, those firefighters back there on that berm are rolling up the hose for their fire truck. But I would imagine that things are not going to be breaking down and not everybody leaving, because the St. Clair County command post showed up here just a short time ago. So there may be some other operations, or they may want to monitor the situation for some time to come. So the situation here, while the evacuation order has been lifted, it's far from over here at this location. Live in Dupo, Russell Kinsall, News 4.
Ameren, Illinois reported hundreds of power outages from this derailment, and dozens of people from a nearby trailer park were forced to evacuate their homes this afternoon. News 4's Ray Preston continues our live team coverage. He's live from the East CARONDELET Community Center. And Ray, give us an idea how many people had to go there.
Well, right now we've got a lot of people who are on their way back home or getting ready to go back home. We had about 3 dozen names on a list earlier today, but people were coming and going. We're about 1.5 miles or so away from those overturned tanker cars. Yeah, the East CARONDELET Community Center was turned into an evacuation center. This was a place where people could go cool down, and had air conditioning inside. They could get some water. Actually, they could bring their pets here as well. Now, several people were from the Stony Brook Mobile Home Park. That park, along with Adams Subdivision and Floral Acres, was evacuated. Now, we did talk with some of the residents about the evacuations. Here's what they had to say.
There was cops everywhere. I'm talking everywhere, knocking on doors, making sure, getting all the elderly out, and I actually had to go to my neighbor's and get him. He's in a wheelchair. I don't know where he's at. I'm still waiting on him. He's not here yet. And I'm worried about him right now, and I'm waiting on the rest of my little family too to get here, and they're still not here yet, so I'm getting a little nervous.
It doesn't look like it's going to be too bad. I'm actually pretty relaxed about this. The thing that stressed me out more this year was actually the flood. The fact that we had the National Guard in our neighborhood, putting us close to actually being out on the street. I was more concerned with that flood than I am with this fire.
So emergency management arrived here about 10 minutes till 4 and announced, they went inside and announced the evacuation is over, you can go home. So considering what time this started, roughly about 12:30, it looked like the evacuation was in place for about 3.5 hours or so. Reporting live from East CARONDELET, Ray Preston, News 4.
Likely anxious to get back to their homes. Ray, thank you. There are several schools that closed because of the derailment. Dupo school officials told us they ordered all of its buildings evacuated. They got buses and took students and staff members to Columbia High School. One mother says the lack of communication this afternoon was unnerving.
Very concerned. My daughter's only 9 and she just got taken to Columbia. She's probably scared. They didn't text me, they didn't email me, they didn't call me, nothing.